Donald Trump just blinked on tariffs. And he didn't do it because of Democrats. He didn't do it because of Sleepy Joe. It's not because of the fake news media. The thing that has finally made Donald Trump flinch on tariffs is that a number of CEOs from Walmart, Target, Home Depot started saying to Trump's face with tears in their eyes, "Sir, we are 2 weeks from triggering empty shelves in the United States of America." Remember how Trump would say that when Obama took over, the cupboards were bare? Obama. Yeah, that wasn't true. But we are now in 2025 in a situation where the president is being warned by billionaire retailers that if he keeps going with the tariff roulette, America would walk into stores and find fewer and fewer goods on the shelves. Not a hypothetical, not a projection. This is sort of like a 2-week countdown to chaos that we've now learned Donald Trump has been given. Now, before the emergency CEO summit, I guess we would call it, Trump was busy torching the markets with his usual bravado, threatening to fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell, announcing 145%, 245% tariffs on China, floating a plan to nuke every trade agreement on earth. And the result was that stocks collapsed, bonds and the dollar tanked, global investors fled for safety. And by the middle of this week, Donald Trump started pumping the brakes. Suddenly, Trump started saying, no, the tariffs on China are going to come down. The 145% tariffs were too high. Suddenly, no, Jerome Powell's job is very safe. I was never even thinking of firing Jerome Powell, despite posting to Truth Central that he should be fired. This is not strategy. This is panic management, crisis management. And what's truly disturbing is that this warning had to come at all, because you would think that a president who is the best on business and the best on economics and just is so good on this stuff, this was Trump's main strength, we were told. You would think that a basic understanding of how modern supply chains work would be enough for Trump to know this is a bad idea, but it wasn't. And ultimately, it took 3 of America's biggest retailers to march into the White House and to say, with respect, sir, your policies could collapse the consumer economy in 2 weeks. So let's do a quick kind of recap of what this fiasco got us. We have the increased global tension and volatility as a result of this tariff scheme, which is putting us at odds with our traditional allies. We are pointing in the direction of higher consumer prices based on manufacturers saying we are going to have to increase the cost of our goods by X amount if this happens. We see declining and unstable financial markets, billions, maybe trillions erased from 401ks, with no measurable benefit to the American consumer or to American industry. Now, I am willing to concede that Trump and others told us it will take a while, right? It's not, there's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain, but no one is buying that. The economists were never buying it, but now the American people aren't buying it either. And we end up in this position where if there were to be a global crisis of any kind, bird flu or whatever, we are in a weakened position by straining these relationships. And so all of this so that Trump could pretend to be Mr. Tough Trade guy for a few weeks. So the takeaway is that Trump's first term was sort of yelling and flailing, but he didn't do that much. And much of why the economy was pretty good under Trump up until the pandemic is that other than the 2017 tax cut plan, Trump didn't really do that much. It was a lot of yelling and screaming. Trump 2.0 is different. Trump has now found levers of power, tariffs, financial policy, and he's pulling them and jerking them around with the grace of a toddler hitting every button on the elevator, right? Like my daughter loves to do. It's no longer just Twitter rants and X excretions and catchphrases at rallies. These are levers that have an impact. And what this is exposing is how little Trump understands the systems that he's controlling. So the damage is done. Even if he backs off of every tariff, we are now seen as an unstable and unreliable counterpart to any kind of treaty, agreement, or deal. And if this is how Trump handles a sort of self-inflicted economic mess, imagine what would happen in another real emergency. We kind of know because we saw what he did during COVID. When it got real, Trump ran. And that's not leadership, that's fear. Now, after the break, we're going to look at how the inner circle around the orange man is handling this. And some of them are simply choosing to deny what Trump is doing and deny what Trump is saying, taking the approach of, you can't even listen to Trump, you've got to listen to me. That's what Caroline Levitt did. Let's take a quick break and then we'll pick it up with that.